Hi and welcome to Keys Review. My name is Tom Quirk and today I'll be giving you a brief overview of the Arturia MatrixBrute Analogue Synth. I'll be looking at its features, giving you my views and some short performances throughout. Okay, so first of all, let's look at this beast. It looks like a synth that took a load of steroids. Its build is strong and really nicely crafted. From the real wood finishings to the solid metal exterior, it looks hefty and weighs in at 44 pounds. It features a 49 key keyboard which has both velocity and aftertouch to give the performer expression whilst playing. So, the MatrixBrute features 3 oscillators. We have 2 using the Brute style oscillators and 1 doubles up as an LFO and has less capabilities on it. The 2 Brute style oscillators come with their own sub-oscillator and wave shapers. They also have an analog ultrasaw which can make a single oscillator sound like 3 detuned sawtooth oscillators. There is also a control called Metallizer on the triangle wave which can nicely change the tone of the sound that you've patched. We have a mixer section which is self-explanatory. You have control over the oscillator in terms of its volume. There is also a volume control to the noise and external. We also have a great design which allows you to pick between the Steiner Filter and the ladder filter or both at the same time. So there are 2 filters. We have the Steiner Parker filters from the Brute range and a ladder filter which is Arturia's own version of the classic Dr. Bob Moog's transistor ladder filter. Both filters have a multi-mode which has low pass, band pass, high pass and notch. You select 12 dB and 24 dB on either and you can make the filters work in either series or in parallel. This synth comes with 3 LFOs. 2 standalone LFOs with 7 waveforms and trigger modes allow for all kinds of modulation. The combination VCO LFO adds a 3rd LFO to the synth, so you can also use this in sync to the sequencer. You also have 3 envelope generators. There are 2 ADSR envelopes and the 3rd is a DADSR envelope which has the addition of delay. The MatrixBrute also features an audio mod section. You can add modulation from your VCO1 to your VCO2, then VCO3 to either 1 and 2, VCO3 to VCF1 and VCF2, and finally we have noise to VCO1 and VCF1. This is great for creating some really nice cool FM synth sounds. The Arturia is also not just a monophonic synthesizer. It also offers a paraphonic mode which allows you to perform 3 notes at the same time. You can assign different oscillators to each note so it completely changes the timbre of each chord you play. Next we have a duo split mode. Essentially it's like having 2 different synths in one. So the first synth will be made up of VCO1 and VCO2 coming through the Steiner filter and the amp is controlled by envelope 2. The second synth will be VCO3 going into the ladder filter, having both the amp and the filter controlled by envelope 3. This opens up great opportunities for live performances and compositions. We also have a noise type option. We have the white, pink, red and blue. These noise are really cool at getting those subtle changes. Okay, now onto the wonder which is the Matrix. The Matrix allows for complex modulation routing, step sequencing and instant preset recall. You can assign any of the 16 modulation source to any of the 16 mod destinations. You have 4 destinations, are user programmable and can be seen in the e-ink display. I've got to say, I've never seen anything like this display before. Every time I look at it, I feel like I've left this sticky label on the screen. The Matrix can be used as a 64 sequencer with step, accent, slide and modulation steps. We also have some really interesting presets designed by Arturia. In fact, you have 256 presets at your fingertips. They're configured across the matrix as the first column being a rhythmic sound, the second being a bass sound, the third being a polyphonic sound, and the fourth being a lead sound. We also have Analog Effects Processor with 5 high-quality true analog effects. There is a stereo delay, a mono delay, chorus, flange, as well as a multi-tap reverberator. Below we have the sequencer display, which is really accessible and easy to use. It has the usual things you would expect to find from a sequencer and arpeggiator, like the abilities to change and develop patterns, rhythm, rate and feel. Finally, we have the performance section. The MatrixBrute has a lovely sturdy metal pitch and modulation wheels. We have the other typical things that you find, the octave shift, which simply pushes the octaves up and down. We have a glide, which allows how much portamento you want between each note, and also a legato and a keyhold. The synth also features 4 macro controls. These macro controls are a really great feature to this synth, as you can assign different modulations via the matrix that can be triggered when performing live. Okay, so here are my thoughts. This is an awesome looking synth. As I said earlier, it looks like a synth took a load of steroids because it is beefy. It feels like quality, it has a lot of amazing great features. The oscillators are good. I love the brute factor based in the Steiner filters, which really change the overall tones of the oscillator. For me, the best thing about this is the matrix. It is so nice to have an actual visual light display when programming a sequencer or arpeggiator. The preset sounds are really nice and makes you want to play them. Great for composition, studio and live performance, so overall I'd say it's a really nice synth and worth buying. Anyway, I hope this review has given you an insight into the product, and please subscribe, hit like, and we look forward to seeing you next time on Keys Review.